there's a fever gripping America. And while it rages, Canadians will remain resolute and true to our values. While America engages in a war on woke, Canadians will continue to value inclusiveness.
How do you still convince Canadians that you are really elbows up?
A photo of Mark Carney is exploding across the internet. If you weren't already embarrassed by Mark Carney's performance with Donald Trump and his trade negotiations, how he's not even getting a phone call from Donald Trump or not even getting his phone calls picked up. Now we have a photo that is going parabolic in the US. This is not localized to Canada, and it's getting shared across the world right now. This is a breaking news story. And the accounts that it's going mega viral is the conservative social media accounts in the United States. Let's get into the show. This story starts off with Mark Carney flying to British Columbia because it's more important to fly to British Columbia than get a trade deal with the United States. He spends more time on vacation than addressing the greatest crisis since World War II. Remember Mark Holland? And for my American viewers, Mark Holland used to be Canada's health minister. And in our House of Commons, he said a summer holiday would cause the entire planet to burn. This clip is provided by Government X is Corrupt on X. The reason that this clip is so powerful is because Mark Carney is Mr. Net Zero, and so is Justin Trudeau. And the Liberals have been telling us for the last decade that if you fly or go on vacation or just drive your car, that will cause the entire planet to burn.
We have an enormous opportunity to bring climate change into the heart of every financial decision. And our plan will manage the risks from climate change while helping to seize the opportunities from a newer, greener economy.
You can take a summer fun time vacation where you're locked in a car for 10 consecutive days, nonstop with no bathroom breaks. And the cost, give up the future of the planet, right? Don't worry, kids, about climate change. Don't worry about taking action on the planet. Enjoy your 10 hours in the car and let the planet burn.
We can deliver the net zero world that you've demanded and that our future generations deserve. Let's reshape finance for a sustainable world.
Don't you love it how they lecture you for going on holidays? And then they take Mark Carney, for example, right here, is he just flew from Ottawa to Vancouver for one photo. And we're gonna get to the photo. Oh man, he should have stayed in Ottawa. Not only did he burn all the CO2, he just embarrassed himself and the rest of Canada to the United States and the entire world. Before I show you the photo, and this is the photo, but it's not the full photo, if you know what I mean. The story broke on Reuters. Yeah, this is the news outlet that broke the story before it went absolutely parabolic. Oh, and here's the picture. I'm sorry, I had to block it out so that I would protect your eyes. It's not acceptable stuff here. I can't show you the original, but you could just see what I'm talking about. So this is the photo that's going parabolic. If you want to see the original, the one that doesn't have the black box, just head over to my Twitter X account. You'll be able to see the whole thing. But why would you want to see the whole thing? But if you do want to see the comments, oh, the comment section has erupted on my channel and other channels. We're actually going to take a look at a mega channel. It's called End Wokeness. It's an American social media account. And he wrote, Canadian Prime Minister at Vancouver's Pride event today. Yes, this is real. And he published this at 5:40. Today, right now, it is 7:14. So it's only been 1 hour and 20 minutes onto his account. 212,000 impressions so far. I posted, he saw Justin Trudeau over the years and he said, hold my beer. Here's Justin Trudeau. I swear, I don't know what's happening in Canada. You know what? We got to go over some of these comments. I don't think I could actually read many of them. We'll just go through. Mark Carney is the best prime minister Palestine ever had. Oh, jeez. I can't read that one. When your PM prefers to visit naked men instead of going to church, you know Canada is... Because it's Sunday. He took a flight straight to Vancouver. Give me strength. Just give me strength. Give me a double, actually. What are wrong with these people? That's the thing. I like this comment. Thank you for blocking that out. I know, that's why I'm showing you guys the blocked out version. Unbelievable. He's sending Canada to all the wrong places. Me trying to avoid this photo on my X feed. Oh man, that is too funny. It's going so viral that look at this one. If there's already a meme, it says, if everyone could stop posting Mark Carney hugging a guy with his buns out, that would be great. You're not going to believe this next post. So look at this picture right here. And then the comment right here says, by Mark Farmer, he says, where's Carney's right hand? That's a good question. Where is his right hand? And this is a reminder, in Canada, we actually raise the rainbow flag every year.
Underneath the Indigenous flag, following the land acknowledgement.
And the Americans are already making the memes. Canada surpasses California as state with the most liberal governor. Worse than Newman. Oh, man. And you know, they were making fun of Justin Trudeau, but they actually believe now that Mark Carney has taken woke to the next level. Why am I showing you Mark Carney at a pride parade? Who cares if he goes to the pride parade? There's a problem. We are actively trying to negotiate the biggest deal in Canadian history and also the biggest deal for America in their history because we are the #1 trading partner with the United States. We're actively trying to negotiate a deal for both sides. The reason why I'm showing it to you is because of timing. The timing of this is absolutely atrocious. He should be in Washington, D.C. Did you know that Donald Trump, since he was elected the second time, is on a war on woke?
You know, we've gotten rid of the woke. Woke is gone, and I think pretty well buried. We're going to make sure it's buried. But the parents are now taking over the school boards. They're getting...
See that? Donald Trump is on a war with woke. Every day he says the woke is the radical left. He doesn't like the radical left. That is why this is so catastrophic. I don't know if you knew this, but Donald Trump was not happy about Disney faces U.S. investigation over DEI practice. It's because all their movies started going woke. And he's like, no. We're going to investigate it. There's no more Disney wokeness. The very first thing Donald Trump did when he became president for the second time, ending wokeness is now presidential policy. I will end government policy trying to socialize, engineer race, gender into everyday life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. And it says here, and this is from the White House, ending radical and wasteful government DEI programs and its preferencing. And it's not just in the US that he wants to eradicate wokeness. Trump administration reportedly warned European companies to comply with the anti-DEI order. He wants wokeness eradicated around the world. That is why I'm saying we are currently trying to get the best deal out of the United States with Mark Carney. Do you honestly believe that getting the best deal, it's like he is consistently, almost on a daily basis, trying to get the worst possible deal for Canada based on his actions, not what he says? And here is Donald Trump's famous speech declaring the official end of wokeness.
We've ended the tyranny of so-called diversity, equity, and inclusion policies all across the entire federal government and indeed the private sector and our military. And our country will be woke no longer.
No more woke in America. What about their trading partners?
We believe that whether you are a doctor, an accountant, a lawyer, or an air traffic controller. You should be hired and promoted based on skill and competence, not race or gender. Very important. You should be hired based on merit. And the Supreme Court, in a brave and very powerful decision, has allowed us to do so. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have removed the poison of critical race theory from our public schools, and I signed an order making it the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So what do you think, guys? Do you think what Mark Carney did was going to be perfect and absolutely the perfect timing to get the best trade deal for Canada? Or do you think he really doesn't care what Donald Trump thinks? He doesn't care about how he looks in front of Donald Trump. He doesn't care about anything to do with Donald Trump. And that's also why we still don't have a phone call or a trade deal with Donald Trump, because he is in fact the wrong person to deal with Donald Trump. How are the trade negotiations going between Canada and the US? Well, we just got Trudeau's babysitter just gave us an update. I have to warn you, there's zero phone calls, there's nothing. He might get a phone call from Donald Trump later on this week. But after today, I don't think he's getting any phone call. This was earlier today until this whole situation has just blown up.
We're just here in Washington negotiating, and while the talks are officially continuing, you left town without a deal, and you left town with now what is a 35% tariff on goods. How much of a setback was the president's decision to do that while you are still at the table?
So we were obviously disappointed by that decision. The United States is respecting the terms of the USMCA agreement. That's vital, we think, to the cost of living and affordability, certainly in the United States. It's true in Canada as well.
But you heard Ambassador Greer say Canada, because Canada retaliated to the initial tariffs all the way back in April when Prime Minister Trudeau was in office, you're paying the price now, even though you have a new government in place. If that's the issue, why not make that concession and pull back?
So Prime Minister Carney, our new Prime Minister, has, we think, built a very business-like, respectful relationship with President.
A business-like, respectful relationship. And he looks at the calls and he says, Mark Carney, I'm not picking up that call. Hang up on Mark Carney. Even if he calls 100 times, Donald Trump's not going to pick up Mark Carney. Yeah, it's not looking good for Mark Carney and Donald Trump. Donald Trump wants a relationship with someone, and it's not going to be Mark Carney.
President Trump, we think that's obviously very important to Canada, and we think to the United States.
Are there any plans for the two leaders to speak? I saw President Trump said your prime minister called him Thursday and they just never connected. I mean, are tensions that high? And given the changing
And the tensions just got higher and higher after today.
Justification for the tariffs, do you really feel like you're negotiating with the other side in good faith?
Yeah, sure we do. Of course we do. As I say, the conversations have been informative, constructive, and cordial. I would expect the Prime Minister...
What discussions? What discussions exactly? There have been zero discussions.
We'll have a conversation with the President over the next number of days. That's certainly my plan, again, with Secretary Lutnick.
I don't think there's going to be any conversation.
Recognizing that we think there is an option of striking a deal that will bring down some of these tariffs, provide greater certainty to investment.
What are they going to do? Give supply management? They're going to remove the retaliatory tariffs? They're going to put the booze back in the liquor stores.
Ms. Brennan, we passed in Canada our version of the President's One Big Beautiful Bill. It's called the One Canadian Economy Act, which we think will
He makes it sound like it's an American act.
Unlock up to $500 billion. One Canadian Economy Act, which we think will unlock up to $500 billion of investment in Canada for things like pipelines, port infrastructure, mines, all of which offer huge opportunities to American businesses as well. So we think there's a great deal.
He was on an American news channel talking these $500 billion for pipelines. No, zero pipelines. We don't even have one project of national interest. By the time the thing is approved or anything's happening in Canada, it'll be a decade from now. Maybe one project. Just one project. Dominic LeBlanc is not telling the truth. I just looked online how many views that picture got. It's in the millions. Millions of people, and it's only been 4 hours since it was originally published. This is unbelievable. Do you think what he did is perfectly acceptable given the circumstances we are in today? We need this trade deal. He is actively showing he wants us to become the EU, not the United States. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. What do you think about Mark Carney's actions today? Do you think it will affect our trade negotiations with Donald Trump? I'll see you on the next report.